Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Please let me know the audio is okay because I have been a little concerned about that recently. I'm using StreamYards again, and there is some additional features that they recently enabled, which reduces background noise by using AI. I don't know how it works, but apparently it works. So the audio should be louder and clearer today. Let me know in the chat. Hello and welcome. This is a live stream that happens every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. This is called Vimoh Live because I'm Vimoh and this is live. We talk about atheism, religion, Indian culture, contemporary politics, and things like that. And on Saturdays, I take callers, which I will share a link for right now and pin it to the top of the chat so that whoever wants to talk can come and we can talk. And we can Dang. So there's this heart icon apparently, which gets in the way of pinning comments. But I've pinned the comment. If you want to join me on screen and talk about stuff, please go ahead. Uh, I will be giving priority to people who disagree with me or people uh, who are here to quote unquote debate. So the moment you join, go into the private chat section and tell me the topic so that I can decide who to take first and who to take next. Before I proceed, I would like to remind everyone that you can support this channel and all my work really because I make videos, reels, live streams, I write, I do a podcast, which all stems from this piece of content, but it's all different stuff, different formats of content. If you want to support my work, you can do so by clicking the join button below and becoming a member of the channel. Or you can go to my blog at vimo.stck.me and make a one-time contribution. Or if you're watching this video at a later point of time, you can click on the thanks button below and make a contribution of any amount of your choice. That's also a one-time payment. You can also go to kadakmerch.com slash Vimo Live and buy t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. That also supports the channel. There is a there are how do I put it? There are a few designs. One is called Sabka Malik Fake Hai. Another one was called Woke Sabha is in session. So feel free to try those out. And if you like any of those, please feel free to order. I'm an independent content creator and my content is sponsored by people like you. So thanks in advance. There's at least one person in the queue right now. Ashish, wait, let me just take a look at the comments for a little bit and then I'll take Ashish. Ashish, in the meantime, go to the private chat section and tell me what you want to talk about. Sahil says, talk about ISRO. Talk what about ISRO? What is the question? Shashank is here. Shashank says, finally, after a long time, I'll be listening to Vimo live. Thanks, Shashank, for being here. Uh, okay. Amit, thank you for the $10 super chat. Much appreciated. Amit asks, how can anyone say that caste prejudice doesn't exist when the first question in every arranged marriage is almost always caste? They don't put it that way, right? We have found ways of getting around it. We have found ways of referring to it as community and same family values. Nobody uses the word jati or caste, but it's still the same thing. If you go to matrimonial website also, I don't know if caste is the label on top of the drop down box that chooses one's caste. It probably says like minded people, same values of family, stuff like that. Those are the euphemisms we hide behind when we are talking about caste. The other day I posted something on Instagram and someone said casteism among NRI second generation Indian American NRIs, how is that possible? And I was like, have you not seen the recent show on Netflix where the matchmaker thing happens? Please go and watch it carefully. You'll find proof of it there also. It's the same stuff. Uh, Thank you, Amit, again for the $10. Surya is asking if I'm married. Surya, please avoid personal questions. As Facty told you, I'm not going to answer that. But the short answer is that no, I'm not married. Um, mm, mm, mm. Surya talks about the topic of the day, which is majorities are scared that they might lose their power in society, hence the higher tendency to oppose democracy. I'm not sure if this is true entirely, though. Nervous giggle. Yeah, I think you have it in a nutshell. Majorities, people who are parts of majority communities, will uh, not be able to see people who are different from them, right? So they will start thinking of their own worldview as normal. And when that happens, the moment they encounter someone who is not like them, they will feel threatened. Like, oh, ये क्या हो रहा है? ये लोग सब कहाँ से आ गए? वगैरह वगैरह. If you have grown up in the same neighborhood, same atmosphere, surrounded by people of your religion, belief system, skin color, caste, maybe even, then the moment you go into a more diverse situation, you will be like, अरे ये liberalism, ये multiculturalism, ये सब हमारी संस्कृति को बर्बाद कर रहा है. Invariably, when you ask them what Sanskriti means, they will talk about the circumstances that they come from. So it is very easy for someone in a democracy to look at a group and say that they are under threat, because this paranoia is always at the back of their head. Whenever they encounter the wider world, this paranoia triggers something primal in them. And that is why we find in almost every country, like, in America, evangelical Christian, white evangelical Christians say that Christianity is in danger. In Islamic majority countries, you might find people, Islamic majority countries which are democracies and multicultural, you might find majority people who are like, Islam is in danger. Populist leaders feed on this fear in the minds of majority communities, and that's where this comes from. We'll talk about this more. If anyone has more points, feel free to raise them. There is a person in the chat with a name that I think is an abuse word. Please change the name or I won't be able to take you on screen. Thank you. Edge says, please take callers today. One of my theist friend wants to argue. I will do so. Amit says, to a majority, the idea of being kept at an equal level to a minority is frightening. Yeah, yeah. They they interpret a lot of things as dangerous when they're merely uncomfortable for them because they have not encountered them in the past. Right. Ashish says, I disagree with you on your moving to Twitch subsidy culture in India. Okay, let's take Ashish. Hi, Ashish. What's up?
Hey, hi Vimoh. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah, so you recently uploaded a video, the reaction one, and
Hmm.
it generated quite a few views for you. I think, in
Hmm.
fact, it became your most watched video.
Yeah.
Uh,
Imagine
you,
what that does to my self esteem. इतने साल से ओरिजिनल कंटेंट अपलोड कर रहा हूँ, कुछ नहीं होता, ये एक रिएक्शन डाला साला इतने व्यूज आ गए.
yeah.
हाँ.
So, I mean, overall, right, reaction videos across YouTube are extremely famous. Go to any of the channels, and their most popular videos would be these reaction videos,
Yeah.
and they would have other a lot of Gyan videos, but the
Hmm.
reactions are the ones which have made them famous. And then
Hmm.
using those, people have got to their Gyan also eventually. So then the reaction is one which got them interested to that channel. They subscribed to it, and then
Hmm.
they started going through the other content. So it's
Maybe.
like the
Yeah.
starting point for you to get there.
Yeah.
So I guess your end intention, Vimo, is to make the gullible youths across India or the world, maybe, uh, you know, become more rational, right? That is one of the goals I think you have. I feel like you have, and at the same time, of course, you want to make money for yourself also.
Hmm.
So one way to get there, definitely, for you and to make your channel more famous, is to maybe
Hmm.
do more of these reaction videos. People start following you, watching this, and they get to your other content also, which is, you know
Huh, I
uh,
intend to. I intend to.
yeah,
I plan to
yeah.
make more reaction videos. I noticed that one of your points is you disagree with me on moving to Twitch. I'm not moving
No,
to
no,
Twitch.
no. I sorry. I just mentioned that you might be moving to Twitch. You are gonna stay on the YouTube for a long
Yeah.
time, but I think this reaction videos. I think you're a little bit afraid of that copyright strike
Copyright
thing,
strikes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel that but it's just like sort of becoming a chicken and egg problem, right? That hey, uh, do you move there to avoid this thing, but there's no audience there, so the
No,
audience
no.
is
I think
here.
what I'll do, see, here's the thing. I want to do, like, suppose people are reacting to a movie sometimes. They can't react to the entire movie. They can't put the entire movie in the reaction video, right? So they
Right.
find ways around it. They find that YouTube regulation allows them 5 minutes of stuff on screen. So they put 5 minutes of it and then they put the rest of it on their Patreon. I
Got
don't
it.
just want to look at something and laugh. I want to break it down and explain it.
Yep.
So if I want to do it at that level, I can't do it on YouTube. So what I will do, I think, is that I'm not moving to Twitch. I'm using Twitch as an additional platform where I'll do these prolonged breakdown stuff. Then I'll take that thing and I'll cut it down to the most interesting parts and I'll upload it to YouTube and see what happens. Because
Awesome.
Reacting to things live on an elaborate basis, it doesn't look like it's going to be possible.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, helpful.
Hmm.
So now I'll move to my second point if you have time.
Yes,
So
subsidy
in
culture in India.
yeah.
Hmm.
So in one of the calls you mentioned that hey, the subsidy culture is there. We all know of it, and we should promote more of it.
Hmm.
Uh, you gave a what about argument where you talked about, hey, European countries are doing it, why don't we also do it? Nobody says anything to the European countries. Why in India
When did I
we?
say this?
I think you said in one of the live streams.
I have
Yes, you
never
did.
just, I have given examples of European countries many times, but I don't think I've said that we should give subsidies because Europe does so.
No,
That has
what
never
you
been the
said.
argument.
No. What you said is the what aboutry in that argument is, hey,
Hmm.
European countries do it. Nobody questions them. When India does it, there is a lot of this thing that,
Was that
hey,
an
why?
was that the entirety of my argument? Because I
No,
think what I may
not
have done
really,
is
not
that,
really, not really.
yeah,
But
so
I will come to your
I
main
think you're kind
argument.
of going for the low hanging fruit there. I think
Yeah,
what my argument was about subsidy is that India is not a rich country. A lot of people do need help. The government exists to help people, and therefore there's nothing wrong with helping people. And then I might have said, I don't see people raising a stink about this happening in Europe. I never said that we
yeah.
should do it because Europe does. I added that as an additional point. So that was not the
Okay,
argument. That was
okay. So
one of the things I just.
now let me come
Hmm,
to my main point. Right. So
hmm,
why I think India should not do more of subsidy culture. I'll
hmm,
come to that. And so, by the way, like first out straight, right? I would say that health and education.
hmm.
I'm moving it out of my purview of subsidy. I say
Okay,
that health and education should be free and accessible to everybody. So that's point
great.
number one. Okay.
Hmm,
So when I say about subsidies,
hmm,
what I talk about is that electricity free kar diya, XYZ kar diya, and all of that.
hmm,
So I so there is it pays more burden on certain section of taxpayers, which is very low number. By the way, everybody pays tax in India.
yeah.
I don't think that hey, if I just pay income tax, I'm like somewhat better or supreme than anybody,
Hmm,
because other taxes everybody pays it. Okay,
hmm,
but uh, that particular section, right, of taxpayers who are paying the income tax and who are into the high bracket of income tax, right,
hmm.
they end up draining a lot of money in taxes. Their taxes could go up to high to 35%, 40% or something like that.
Do
And
you think that the rich should pay more taxes?
I think the rich should pay more taxes, but
Hmm,
I also feel that rich should have. So there are three sections, right? You have the the lower class, the middle class, and the rich class, right? So
hmm.
the tax system, how it works in India is that you go beyond, let's say, 10 lakhs or something, you are considered rich. Hey,
Okay.
pay 30% now. Okay,
Hmm.
from now 30-35% or whatever, right? So my point is that that particular section, it does not get anything in return, so they can't put their kids to government school. A pathetic situation is there.
Which group are
They
you
can't.
talking about again?
Maybe the middle class group, you can say, maybe somebody who's earning, let's say, 15-20 lakhs or something like that, they are paying
Okay, so
30%
is your
tax.
argument in a nutshell that the middle class, if it pays a lot of taxes, becomes poorer and it affects their living standards?
When they are living in
Uh,
India. Yeah.
so I'm saying that the, like, we have tax brackets, right? If the rich are paying more taxes, it might come to be that the middle class won't have to pay as much tax.
um the but the middle class which is paying these taxes, uh,
Hmm.
they aren't getting anything in return from their country. So when you compare it
Why do
with
you say
European
that?
countries,
Would you say that the civil amenities available to everyone, but the middle class is being kept away from it?
no.
The police is available to the middle class, roads are available to the middle class, everything that our tax money pays for is available to the middle class. What is being taken from them?
No, the situation, uh, of
What
health
situation?
and let's say government schools is not good
Hmm?
in the country for the government
No, no, I'm
hospitals.
saying you are saying that the middle class pays taxes but does not get anything in return for them. What are
Yeah.
you saying is not available to them?
So so I mean, let's just compare with European countries, right? So because you brought it like one of the arguments, so European countries, they pay a lot of taxes. Let's say they
Hmm.
also pay 30 to 40% taxes, but they
The
can
rich in European
send
countries or the
even the
middle
middle
class in
class or
European
middle
countries?
class or
Okay,
rich also. Okay,
okay.
so they can send their kid to public schools.
Hmm.
The health, they get good health insurance, so which is pretty much free for them.
Hmm.
Those are the benefits I'm talking about, which Indians middle class don't get, and that's one of the
I think
reasons, right? You would
you started off by saying that you agree that health and uh, healthcare
health and
and
education.
education should be
Yeah, yeah,
free, right?
yeah,
So if
yeah,
that does happen, then it's free for everyone, right? And the
yeah.
middle class does get it.
Yes, but the so let's just look at this way. So you have certain pool of money. Let's say
Hmm.
everybody's
Hmm.
paying these taxes, right? Let's
Hmm.
say we have 100 rupees. Simple assumption, right?
Okay.
Many of it is going into paying various. I'm assuming this, okay, and I may be wrong here, but what I'm assuming is that a lot of money is going into paying off, let's say, either these not so useful subsidies like paying somebody's electricity bill and xyz and all, and
Hmm.
what happens, and let's say a lot of money goes into subsidizing or making these government schemes. uh, I mean, and there is very little money which is then left for health and education, and the health and education situation is apathetic in the country, and that's why some of the middle
अभिषेक
class.
अभिषेक बोल रहा हूँ,
Ashish,
आशीष.
Ashish, yeah,
सॉरी यहाँ मतलब क्यू में दो अभिषेक है, so I kind of you got to be a minority there, someone took over your name, so
yeah,
sorry about that. My point is, I still don't have the answer to the thing that you raised earlier, where you said that the taxes that the middle class is paying, it is not getting anything in return for it.
yeah. So I'm coming to that. So
I thought you were
okay,
coming to
okay,
that when
okay.
you mentioned Europe, but you didn't get there,
No, no,
so
no.
I'm
Okay,
kind of
okay.
trying to
No,
hurry
no.
you up. Yeah, go on.
Sure. So the taxes which middle class pay, let's say a road is constructed, right? So your
Hmm.
point was that hey, road is constructed or police is there.
Hmm.
Police situation is also pathetic as we know, but
Hmm.
keep it aside. So a road is constructed, let's say, yes, everybody uses it, no
Yeah.
problem in that, that's great. Okay, you are using money to build the infrastructure of the country, right?
Hmm.
So what I'm saying, Vimo, is that a, a certain amount of money is there. uh, they get some facilities, middle class, they get infrastructure which everybody uses, right?
Hmm.
But the point I'm coming towards is that there is almost little or none, no money is left to give good health and education to people, based on the taxes being paid, right? So that's why many of the people opt to move to other countries, European countries, for example, where they pay similar taxes, but they
Hmm.
get good health and education for their children.
So my question is, my point is this, in response to what you just said. First of all, if you agree that healthcare and education should be free for everyone, and that does become a reality, then it does become free for middle class, poor, rich, everyone, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In that case, this problem is gone.
yeah,
Secondly, the fact that a middle class person has the option of moving abroad itself shows how different the actual living conditions are for them, between them and the people who can't afford it. The middle
right.
class pays taxes. The poor are unable to pay taxes. The middle class paying taxes gets them stuff that everyone gets anyway, right? The poor,
I would like to disagree on that. That there are some people, Vimo. Now I'll talk about a different problem. You might say that I'm diverging, but there are a lot of people in the country who don't pay income taxes, right?
yeah,
Even
but
though they can
everyone still
afford,
pays
they
taxes,
can.
right? Everyone still pays
Everyone still
taxes.
pays taxes. That I agree with you,
Hmm.
but there are a lot of people who using the loopholes in the system, like the salaried, they have no option. But
Hmm.
there are a lot of other people on the businesses and XYZ who should
Hmm.
pay a lot of income taxes. They are not paying them.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. They
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
They should pay more. In fact, they're paying less.
Yeah.
So the source of the problems of the people, of the middle class people, is not the poor, are they? It's the rich.
I know it's not the poor. Yes, it's the
You just
rich.
told me.
It's one of the rich. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not
So
saying the poor are a problem. I never said that, Vimo.
no, no. You said that subsidy culture should go away, right? The subsidy culture
The
exists for
subsidy,
the poor.
right?
Why are you?
So,
Why are you? Why are you the? Why are
so,
you
so,
opposing a
so when I
system?
said,
Listen,
so when I
listen,
said,
listen,
yeah,
listen. Why are you opposing a system that exists to benefit the poor when the source of your problem are not the poor and are in fact the rich?
okay. So the subsidy culture is an ever expanding thing, which the politicians and the governments use to
Mhm.
attract votes from people, the poor.
That's
They
true.
want to
True.
keep
No,
the
actually,
poor.
also the middle class. If you look
Yeah.
at the subsidy culture, the reason we are talking about subsidy culture right now is because it's in the news, right? Political parties are offering free
No, it's
electricity and all.
it's 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 not just because that right now it's news I'm talking about it, but I always oppose this kind of a culture, right?
No,
So
I'm saying you don't have a good reason to oppose it because the source of the problems that you listed just now are not those who are benefiting from the subsidies. It is the rich. You are complaining about something that is a problem for the middle class.
right.
You're laying blame on the people who are not the problem, and you are not talking as much as you should about the people who are the problem. That's my point.
Okay. So let's think of a system, right?
Ashish,
Where-
Ashish, let's
Yeah.
make this your last point. Huh? There are three people waiting.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So simply a system, right? Where
Hmm.
let's assume we say this. So we know that the government is using the poor to give them free subsidies, get votes from them, and XYZ and all that, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So let's assume that the poor say that we don't want subsidy right now, but
Hmm.
we want you. We don't want us. Let's say you have pool of money, 100 rupees or whatever. We
Hmm.
don't want you to give us free electricity. What I
Hmm.
want you to do is, let's say, make better health and education for everybody, right?
Hmm.
So uh, that's a better usage of that money. And what happens is with that is, it let's say education improves, then you have a guy like from a poor background or some background, right? He also rises up in the society. He also
Hmm.
starts making good amount of money. He also starts paying
Do you
taxes,
think
right?
that lack of subsidies might hinder that?
No, I don't think
You
so.
don't think lack of subsidies will hinder the process of a poor person rising up in society? If
uh,
someone does not have enough to eat or to educate themselves or to go to the hospital, which they might if
no,
there were
no, i
subsidies,
i already
do you think
excluded I already excluded the health and education part from it, at the
do you
start.
think
and
okay, so you're saying ki health and
and
education should be free for the poor.
and I would say one more thing include in that.
Listen,
So
Ashish, listen, help
yeah,
me understand what you're saying.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
moving, you're jumping over to the next point before I've gotten what you've said right now. You're saying that suppose there is this hypothetical poor person, health and education is already free for them.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so what are they saying? Don't give me. What are they saying? Ki I don't need a subsidy on.
Assume they say that I don't need your free electricity, for example, right? I would pay for my electricity, right?
Hmm.
I would pay for my water bill. Health and
Hmm.
education is free for me. My kid, who is, let's say, working, who is studying right now, he
Hmm.
will, because he has free education, he would have equal opportunity to rise up. And he works hard, he will get there
Ashish,
eventually.
what
Yeah.
happens in case they can't afford electricity?
Yeah, there are some percentage of people, Vimo. It's true for them. Uh,
Do you think it is true for more people or fewer people? Do you think more people, like if there are like 100 poor people, do you think more than 50% can't afford electricity, or like what is the breakdown here? Do you think most people in India who fall in the poor category will be able to afford electricity?
Uh, yeah, I think they won't be able to afford. Yeah,
You think they won't be able to?
yeah.
Do you think they need free electricity or subsidized electricity?
So yes, but
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say
that's my
over
point.
here,
That
yeah,
that's all. We agree with each other.
yeah,
I think that people who think that they can pay for electricity can pay for electricity, but we should not come to the conclusion that it is easy for everyone, because it
right.
is possible for healthcare and education to be free and still for someone to be so
But
poor that they cannot afford electricity, which, by the way, also gets in the way of education. If
right,
someone does not have
yeah,
electricity, they can't have access to electronic devices or resources to teach themselves, or lights in the evening,
I
right?
agree with you on that.
So these things are
So
connected.
yes, so my point over there, Vimo, is that uh, shouldn't the government focus more on getting the rich to pay more taxes who evade these
Yes,
taxes?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So
My point
yes,
is this: you agree with this very important part, right? The government should focus on getting the rich to pay more taxes.
yeah.
But every single thing that you have suggested so far that should be done, you have told the poor to do it.
No, I've
We
not
need
said
to
that
hold
both
the
to do it.
powerful
Yeah,
and the rich more
right.
accountable,
Yeah,
and the poor, who in any case are probably not even able to, like these are two really privileged people talking. By the way, I am sitting in my home with a high speed internet connection, doing a live stream, and you are sitting somewhere able to communicate with me because a, you are good with language, b, you have a connection, c, you are educated, right? So if we have the power to say something and hold someone accountable, should we not hold those with more power accountable instead of telling the poor what they should do and how they should behave?
yeah, I agree with you on that. The rich should be
Yep.
held more accountable. Yeah,
That's great. That's something we both agree on. Anyway, thank you, Ashish, for coming. I should move on to the next caller probably.
sure. Yeah,
Thanks. Bye bye. Good call.
bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye. That was Are. think Ashish knows how to remove himself from the live stream. I usually have to work hard. Everyone who's on live stream, if you have not gone into the private chat and told me what you want to talk about, please do so. Ashish is gone. ये तो गया. Clash between tribals and others in Jharkhand, land grab using temples. MKT. Before MKT, there is Abhishek. Abhishek, what's up?
Hi Vimoh,
Hi, what's up?
all good. How are you?
Good. क्या चल रहा है? बताओ कैसे आना हुआ?
मेरे पास दो बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग पॉइंट्स थे तो मैं सोचा कि आपसे आपकी राय जान लो इस बारे में।
हम्म.
एक मेरे दिमाग में कुछ दिनों से चल रही है बात। मैंने आपकी थोड़े दिन पहले ना बाबागिरी वाली वीडियो देखी जिसमें अपने बाबा के बारे में बताया कि बाबा कल्चर बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोपेगेट हो रहा है। एक वीडियो है आपकी पुरानी
हम्म.
वाली,
हम्म.
उसको मैं देख रहा था। तो उसमें मेरा एक पॉइंट है कि मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, क्या रीज़न लगता है आपको कि लोग इतने स्ट्रांगली एसोसिएट कर लेते हैं बाबा या किसी हायर आइडल से? क्योंकि जहाँ तक मेरा ऑब्जर्वेशन रहा है इसमें ना, मेरे कुछ
हम्म.
दोस्त हैं जिनको अगर मैं उनके किसी फेवरेट या किसी माने हुए बाबा को डिबंक करने की कोशिश करता हूँ ना या कुछ पॉइंट्स देता हूँ
हम्म.
उनके अगेंस्ट, तो दे कम अप विद अ सिमिलर आंसर। वेरी ऑफन इट हैज़ हैपेंड कि वो बोलते हैं कि यार कोई कुछ ना कुछ तो चाहिए ना बिलीव करने के लिए, किसी पे तो मानना पड़ेगा ना।
क्यों?
मतलब ये मेरे को भी आज समझ में नहीं आई आज तक ये बात कि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा सुना हूँ ये पॉइंट। जैसे मैं
हाँ.
अभी कुछ किसी बारे में बात कर रहा था, वृंदावन के पास कोई बाबा के बारे में बात कर रहा था, तो मैंने पॉइंट्स दिए अपोजिशन में, तो
हम्म.
अगेन वो सिमिलर आंसर आया कि रिप्लाई आया कि सॉरी कि यार कुछ ना कुछ तो चाहिए ना यार एसोसिएशन के लिए, मतलब ग्राउंड कैसे, मीनिंग कैसे निकालेंगे, होल्ड कैसे करेंगे लाइफ को। मतलब मैं वो सोच रहा था कि अ, ऐसा ये डिमांड जो ये मतलब ये अर्ज है, ये सोशली कल्चरली कंस्ट्रक्टेड है कि ये इनहेरेंट है? मतलब आपका ऑब्जर्वेशन क्या कहता है इस पे? पहला तो ये मेरा क्वेश्चन।
एक तो कल्चरल है, टू अ ग्रेट एक्सटेंट इट इज कल्चरल, बट
जी।
इवन अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, लाइक somebody in the chat just pointed out देश ब्राह्मणवाद से परेशान है, and that's
हाँ,
like not wrong at all. We have this culture of the wise guy, not the wise guy, the wise man,
जी।
where a lot of people, हम लोग अपने जीवन के समस्याओं का समाधान ढूंढते हैं किसी से, अगर
जी,
2 लोग हमारे सामने होंगे, एक ने शर्ट पैंट पहनी है और एक ने गेरुए वस्त्र पहने हैं, हम बचपन से प्रोग्राम्ड होते हैं ये सोचने के लिए कि जिसने गेरुए वस्त्र पहने हैं उसके पास ज़्यादा ज्ञान है। और
जी,
इसीलिए हम अक्सर अपने आप को एक ऐसी सिचुएशन में पाते हैं जहाँ कोई चोर उचक्का गेरुए वस्त्र पहन के अपने आप को बाबा बता देता है। टीवी खोल लो तुमको 4 दिख जाएँगे ऐसे, राइट?
जी, जी,
फेक
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल।
बाबाज़ हू आई मीन फेक बाबा ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ जैसा असली बाबा कोई होती है व्हिच आई डोंट बिलीव बट इफ देयर आर इफ देयर इज़ समवन वेयरिंग गेरुए वस्त्र एंड आई आस्क अ रिलिजियस पर्सन ये मतलब असली बाबा है या कोई ढोंग कर रहा है, तो वो भी नहीं बता पाएगा, इतने ज़्यादा हैं,
एग्ज़ैक्टली,
राइट?
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
सो सो हमारा एक कल्चरल ये है, बाबाओं की तरफ एक बायस है जो बचपन से सीरियल से, बुक से, टीवी वगैरह हर चीज़ से रीइन्फोर्स होता है, वो अपनी जगह पे है।
जी,
दूसरा ये है कि लाइफ़ कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है और हर किसी के पास समय नहीं है। जैसे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हम ऐसे लोगों की बात कर रहे थे, गरीबों की बात कर रहे थे जिसके पास खाना, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इनके लिए भी पैसे नहीं है, राइट?
जी,
सो
जी,
ये
जी,
लोग ऑब्वियसली मेरे जीवन का पर्पज़ क्या है, बैठ के सोचने के लिए फुर्सत नहीं है उनके पास क्योंकि उनका
जी,
दिन पूरा सुबह से रात तक मेहनत में बीतता होगा। सो
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
जब उनको कभी कोई एक्जिस्टेंशियल प्रॉब्लम आती है, तो
जी,
और ये सिर्फ़ शायद उनके ऊपर भी नहीं है, कोई वर्किंग क्लास आदमी जो सुबह से रात तक मेहनत करता है अपने 4 बच्चों को स्कूल भेजने के लिए, उसके ऊपर भी
जी,
अप्लाई करता है। उसके पास टाइम नहीं है सोचने के लिए लाइफ़ का पर्पज़ क्या है। पर चूँकि हम लोग ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैं और हम लोग अ, मतलब एक पृथ्वी ग्रह पे ज़िंदा हैं और हमको अपने एक्जिस्टेंस के बारे में सवाल माइंड में आते हैं, हम लोग
हुँ,
सोचते हैं कि इसके जवाब कहाँ मिलेंगे और कुछ लोगों ने इसको अपना करियर बना लिया है, उन सवालों के जवाब देना।
जी,
तो जब किसी को दिखता है कोई बाबा तो एक रेडीमेड पैकेज मिल जाता है ना कि ये है तुम्हारा लाइफ, ये है तुम्हारा पर्पस, ये है तुम्हारा गोल और तुम्हारे मरने के बाद ये होगा अगर तुम ये करोगे तो। तो
मतलब
चूँकि सीधा डब्बा उठा के एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं और क्या।
ओके। तो मतलब आपका कहना है कि मतलब जो इनको एक सेंस ऑफ सर्टेनिटी और श्योरिटी मिलती है उससे, तो उसके पीछे वो क्रेव करते हैं, आप ये बोलना चाह रहे हैं?
हुँ, हुँ।
तो लेकिन ये जो अर्ज है आप मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आती, जो लोग मतलब ये बोलते हैं कि अरे यार एकदम खालीपन हो जाएगा, वॉइड को कौन फ़ील करेगा? ये बार-बार ये बातें आती है, वो समझ में नहीं आती मेरे को। जैसे बोलते हैं कि अरे यार
हम लोग
आप ऐसे
देखो
बोल दे
तुम
रहे हो।
तुम आर्टिस्ट हो ना, तुम्हारे अंदर वो अर्ज ऑलरेडी है, राइट? आर्ट क्यों
जी,
बनाते हैं हम लोग? क्योंकि आर्ट बनाए बगैर हम रह नहीं सकते, हम इमेजिनेटिव एनिमल्स हैं।
जी, जी, बिल्कुल।
हमारे जीवन का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा इस चीज़ पे डिपेंड करता है कि हम मीनिंग खोजें और मीनिंग को पाएँ, क्योंकि मीनिंग को खोज के ही हम आज तक यहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं। हमने
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
वेदर के पैटर्न्स को खोजा, इसलिए हम अपनी सोसाइटी को बचा पाए। हम ठंडी वाले इलाकों से गर्म वाले इलाकों में जा पाए और सर्दी से नहीं मरे। हम
जी,
गर्मी वाले इलाकों से बारिश वाले इलाकों तक सक्सेसफुली जा पाए और गर्मी से नहीं मरे। क्योंकि
जी,
हमने
जी, जी।
वेदर के पैटर्न्स को रिकॉग्नाइज़ किया। हम पैटर्न सीकिंग एनिमल्स हैं और पैटर्न सीकिंग एक ऐसी चीज़ है जिसको हम ऑन ऑफ नहीं कर सकते, राइट? तुम
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
अभी तारों की ओर देखोगे तो तुमको 6 शेप्स दिखेंगी।
करेक्ट।
ये बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट होता है।
बिल्कुल,
मैं एक प्लग उठा के
बिल्कुल।
तुम्हारे सामने रख दूँगा, तुमको उसके अंदर 2 आँखें का एक मुँह दिखने लगेगा। कोशिश करने की
जी,
ज़रूरत
जी।
नहीं पड़ती, राइट? सो
हाँ,
हम लोग वैसे
अपने आप
हैं।
होता है।
हम जहाँ भी देखेंगे हमको अपना रिफ्लेक्शन दिखता है ब्रह्मांड में।
जी,
सो
जी, जी।
कभी-कभी जब तुम दुखी हो गए, तुमको किसी जगह पे कोई पैटर्न दिखेगा, तुमको लगेगा कि हाँ, ये मुझे किसी डिवाइन बीइंग ने सिग्नल भेजा है या तुमने किसी
जी,
को खो दिया है और रात को
हुँ।
तुमको कहीं से आवाज़ आती है, तुमको लगेगा वो तुमसे कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश कर रहा है मौत के उस पार से। सो
जी, जी।
हमारा इमेजिनेशन हमेशा ऑन रहता है। जो लोग प्रोफ़ेशनली इमेजिनेशन में काम नहीं करते, उनको भी इन चीज़ों को फ़ेस करना पड़ता है। क्या करें? होता है।
मेरा इस पे रिलिजन पे दूसरा सवाल ये था कि मेरा ना एक्चुअली रिलिजन पे यूजुअली स्टैंड थोड़ा क्लियर रहता है कि मुझे लगता है कि भाई मेरे को कोई मतलब नहीं है, जो भी है, जो भी
हुँ,
कर रहा है अपने घर के अंदर करे। एज़ फार
हुँ,
एज़ लॉन्ग एज़ वो इम्पोज़ नहीं कर रहे दूसरे के ऊपर, ज़बरदस्त थोप नहीं रहे, मेरे को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, करे अपने अंदर जो कल्चर चीज़ें करनी है, मेरे को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है,
हुँ,
ऐसा रहता है मेरा। तो और मेरा स्टैंस एग्नोस्टिक वाला रहता है। लेकिन कुछ चीज़ें जो ये रिसेंटली हिट करी ना, वो ये थी, पहले तो मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है कि रिलिजन उतनी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है जितनी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम पेरेंटिंग और अपब्रिंगिंग है। मैं उससे ऊपर रखने का मेरा मन कर रहा है। क्यों? उसके 2 कारण हैं। पहला कारण मेरे को रिसेंटली पता चला उसके बारे में, गैलीलियो के बारे
हुँ,
में, कि इट इज़ यूजुअली
हुँ,
सेड कि गैलीलियो को बहुत प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ी थी जब उसने बोला था कि अर्थ जो है वो सन के अराउंड रिवॉल्व करता है, वाइस वर्सा नहीं है। मतलब अर्थ
हुँ,
के उस पार नहीं करता सब। तो
हुँ,
एक्चुअली गैलीलियो इस पे रिसर्च नहीं करने वाले थे। उसको फादर ने बोला था, जो चर्च के पोप रहते, उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया था कि आप करिए
हुँ,
इसको। और उनके जस्ट उसी बेंच में जो गैलीलियो के खिलाफ फैसला सुनाया था, उसमें से 2 लोग उनके फेवर में थे और 2 लोग
हुँ,
अगेंस्ट में थे। तो
हुँ,
वो स 2 सब के सब वो है ना, चर्च के पोप हैं। तो
हुँ।
यहाँ मेरा माइंड थोड़ा सा वो हो गया कि मतलब कुछ तो है जो दोनों को अलग बना रहा है, जबकि वो सेम फेथ को फॉलो कर रहे हैं। एक को थोड़ा मैलेबल बना रहा है और एक को थोड़ा सा वो बना, तो पेरेंटिंग पे जाहिर
और
सी
ये
बात है
बात
यहाँ पे
मैं
बात
पहले
आएगी।
मुझे लगता है ये बात मैं पहले कह चुका हूँ कि इवन आई डोंट थिंक कि अच्छाई और बुराई रिलिजन और एथिज़्म के ऊपर डिपेंड करती है। रिलिजियस होते
जी।
हुए भी लोग सेंसिबल हो सकते हैं और एथियस्ट होते हुए भी लोग बिगोटेड हो सकते हैं।
जी, जी। मतलब जैसे रॉबर्ट सपोल्स्की ने कभी इंटरव्यू में, उनका रशिया-यूक्रेन वॉर पे उनका इंटरव्यू आया था, डॉक्टर रॉबर्ट सपोल्स्की का। उन्होंने उसमें बताया कि सबसे ज़्यादा चांस जो रिलिजियसली एक्सट्रीम होते हैं ना, उनका सबसे ज़्यादा, जो सबसे बड़ा प्रेडिक्टर है उनके ऐसा होने का, वो ये है कि उनको जब घर में बचपन में ट्रेन किया जा रहा था, बचपन में कुछ सिखाया जा रहा था, तो
हुँ,
हर बार उनको किस तरह से बताया जाता है कि ये करना, आपको ये करना है। क्यों करना है? बस मैंने बोल दिया ना, करना है तो करना है। ये वाले
हाँ,
सबसे ज़्यादा गलिबर
ऑथॉरिटेरियनिज़्म
रहते
या
हैं। हाँ, तो उन्होंने बोला कि
और
ये
यही
सबसे बड़ा प्रेडिक्टर था उसका।
जो बच्चा बचपन में अपने माँ-बाप से सुनेगा कि हाँ, मुझे ये वो सब करना होगा जो कि मुझसे कहा जा रहा है, वो बड़ा होके
जी।
वो वोटर बनेगा जो कहेगा कि हाँ, मुझे वो सब करना है जो मुझसे कहा जा रहा है। तो
एग्ज़ैक्ट, और वो
एक
एक्सट्रीम
तरीके से
ज़्यादा
हमारी जो
होते हैं।
पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, वो भी इसी ऑथॉरिटेरियन थिंकिंग का नतीजा है।
तो मैं विमो, ये क्या एक्चुअली क्या है ना, मेरी कंपनी मैंने स्टार्ट किया ना, तो मैं पेरेंटल एजुकेशन पे तरफ में ज़्यादा वो करना चाह रहा हूँ। और तो
अच्छा।
मेरे को लगता है कि न्यूट्रिशन के बाद सबसे ज़्यादा जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ है वो पेरेंटल एजुकेशन है। चाइल्ड एजुकेशन से भी ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट मेरे हिसाब से तो,
हुँ,
क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा वीक है। और क्योंकि अभी साइकोलॉजिकल रिसर्च में मेरा लास्ट पॉइंट यही रहेगा कि साइकोलॉजिकल रिसर्च जर्नल करके जर्नल है, 13 जुलाई को उसमें एक
हुँ,
पोस्ट आया है, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था, कि उसमें लिखा था कि सोशल रिजिडिटी इज़
हुँ।
वन ऑफ द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट प्रेडिक्टर ऑफ कॉग्निटिव रिजिडिटी।
ओके।
उन्होंने मतलब बोला कि जो लोग सोशली
या आई
रिजिड
एग्री।
रहते हैं,
आई थिंक दैट इज़
सबसे
ट्रू।
बड़ा,
या
अभी परसों ही मैंने सुना, तो हाँ, तो यही मैंने सुना, बहुत अचंभे वाली बात लगी कि ये सबसे ज़्यादा कॉमनली देखा गया कि वो लोग सॉल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड नहीं होते हैं ज़्यादातर, जो लोग सोशली रिजिड रहते हैं।
हुँ,
कॉग्निटिवली भी उनका वो देखा गया है। तो मतलब यहाँ तो घुमा-फिरा के बात पूरी मतलब उसी पे आ जा रही है ना, पेरेंटिंग पे ही आ जा रही है और एनवायरनमेंट पे ही आ जा रही है, खासकर
ट्रू,
पेरेंटिंग पे।
ट्रू।
यही मेरा पॉइंट है, बस मैं बोलना चाह रहा था आपसे।
गुड। थैंक
तो
यू
मेरा ये
अभिषेक
मानना है
एंड
कि आर्ट से
बेस्ट ऑफ
बहुत ज़्यादा
लक।
इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है।
हाँ, मुझे तो लगता है कि जो सवाल आपने पहले पूछा उसका भी रिलेशन आर्ट से ही था। मतलब हमारे अंदर वो पैटर्न सीकिंग एबिलिटी क्यों होती है? क्योंकि हम आर्टिस्टिक हैं और हम आर्टिस्टिक होने का एक एडवांटेज है और वो ये है कि हमें पैटर्न्स दिखते हैं और जो
जी,
पैटर्न्स हमें दिखते हैं उनमें से कई पैटर्न्स यूज़फुल होते हैं, पर कई पैटर्न्स यूज़लेस भी होते हैं और उनके अंदर से कहानियाँ निकलती हैं।
जी, जी। और मैं आपको लास्ट पॉइंट बताना चाह रहा था, मतलब एज़ जस्ट फॉर इन्फो,
लास्ट
मेरे
पॉइंट
मेरे
अभिषेक, हाँ, आई वांट टू मूव ऑन
जी,
टू द
जी,
नेक्स्ट
बिल्कुल,
कॉल।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल। बिल्कुल, मेरा
हुँ,
पॉइंट नहीं, एक्चुअली मैं कुछ बताना चाह रहा था कि मैं कभी नॉवल लिख रहा हूँ।
ओके।
उसपे मतलब एग्नोस्टिसिज़्म पे नॉवल है वो। मैं सोचा कि
हुँ,
आपको पहले बताऊँ, तो ये एक्चुअली मेरे सराउंडिंग से रिलेटेड नहीं थी। तो मैं,
हुँ,
क्योंकि एग्नोस्टिसिज़्म के बारे में मैं जब सोचता हूँ तो आपसे जितनी बार बात हुई है ना, तो वो चीज़ें आती हैं, तो मैं उसको भी इंक्लूड कर रहा हूँ। इसलिए मैं
ग्रेट।
बताना चाह रहा हूँ।
Thank
थैंक
you.
यू।
I mean, best of luck with the novel also. Let me know when
थैंक
you
यू।
finish it. We'll talk about it.
एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Bye bye. That was Abhishek. Thank you, Suchi Mohan, for the $1.99 super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Is there something else I missed? No. Okay. So that was Abhishek. Let me read a couple of comments before I move on to the next one. Van Stader says freebies are not subsidies, they're simply an expense created by parties to lure voters. That is true, but also we need to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of times subsidies get called freebies. जैसे अ, क- प्रधानमंत्री ने अरविंद केजरीवाल की स्कीम्स को रेवड़ी कल्चर कहा था, जिसकी वजह से वो चुनाव हार गए थे। अब पर बीजेपी भी वो कर रही है, लोगों को दे रही है कुछ सब्सिडीज, विच इज़ गुड। वी आर अ वेलफेयर स्टेट, वी नीड टू बी अ वेलफेयर स्टेट because not everyone in this country has as much access to resources as everyone else. Um, mm, 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 mm. Aesop says, I just saw a video of this Baba who was seething and on the retired official who donated to him. Since he asked what happened to his money, do you think we should be able to know what happens to our donation? Ideally, yes, but I guess that depends. People who donate at temples don't care what happens to their donation, right? So, someone else who donates to a politician for a certain goal may be interested in finding out. And yet, we have corrupt practices like electoral bonds, where people donate really large amounts of money to political parties, and the rest of us have no idea who gave that money, for what, and what they got in return for it. So I don't think there has been a bigger scam in the history of independent India than the electoral bond scam. And I think most people who observe this space will also agree. We should ask for more accountability. Illuminati, Illuminati, nice username. Illuminati says, yesterday came across Swar Yogi Cyber Zeal channel. He was teaching levitation like WTF. In today's India, even youngsters are Baba now. Yep, I actually have done a video about him on my main channel. You can go watch it, where he was talking about how speaking a word can cure a wound or some such shit. Just speaking about it, not actually showing it or proving it, by the way. Right. So let's take the next caller, which is MKT.
Hello. Good
Hello,
evening,
MKT.
Vimoh.
Good
Good
evening. Are
evening.
you the same MKT who spoke with
Yes,
us
yes,
on
please.
Science's
Yes,
Dope live
yes, yes.
stream?
Haha.
Okay.
Yes, on
Hi.
Diwali night. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. Uh, there's a. I'll take as little time as possible because
Yeah, go
others
ahead.
are there on the call. Okay.
Huh.
So I I recently started cycling. So
Okay.
I've been traveling in my home state Jharkhand. So
Okay.
every day while I'd like to try cycle along the mountain ridges. I've
Okay.
noticed something that as new roads are getting built up, new highways, new bypass roads are getting
Hmm.
built up. Now people are trying. Acha, before I explain everything, let me tell you why this. What is the context here? In Jharkhand, there is a thing called CNT and a fifth schedule. So outsiders they can rent land there, but they cannot buy land there. This,
Okay.
okay, so that the customs of the local tribal people stay afloat. So
Hmm.
what's happening here? Okay, is multiple people. I would not like to name the gods as a, but the thing is, people are trying to put small statues, and then they are just grabbing the land around there. And
Hmm.
since now you have to understand this, I'm
I
not
know
saying
this is
that
a
all
very
tribe.
common practice. It's a very common
Uh,
land grab
uh,
practice. Yeah.
Okay, so what's happening is that tribal areas are getting affected, number one. Number two, the forest areas. And after building up, they do this gradually. They establish a
Hmm.
statue. After a few years, they make a great building. And then every day, over the microphone, they are whatever is happening, Hare Kirtan, anything.
Hmm.
The thing is, the local wildlife is getting affected. I remember
Hmm.
as a child, I remember seeing wild elephants, wild bears. There were different, at least 15 types of monkeys. Birds are
Hmm.
getting affected and things like that.
Hmm.
And this is, there's a district in Jharkhand, I would like to, that is Ramgarh. तो
Okay.
वहाँ पे अब सॉरी I'll name the gods now. वहाँ पे हमेशा शिवलिंग आते रहते हैं.
Hmm.
I'm so तो वहाँ पे शिवलिंग आते रहते हैं, तो लोग बोलते हैं कि शिवलिंग प्रकट हो गया। सीमेंट के
Hmm.
अंदर अचानक से ब्लैक स्टोन में सीमेंट आ गया। तो व्हेन द ट्राइबल्स ट्राई टू रिमूव कि ये हमारा ट्राइबल एरिया है, यहाँ पे पेड़ है, यहाँ पे साल गज है। दीज़ आर ट्रीज़ व्हिच द ट्राइबल्स वर्शिप, द
Hmm.
अबॉरिजिनल्स ऑफ दैट एरिया। तो तो ने देयर इज़ अ क्वाइट स्मॉल क्लैश एंड देन वो आ जाएँगे बजरंग दल वाले एंड पीपल लाइक दैट। वहाँ पे
Has
वो
any
सीन ग
lawsuit been filed about this? Because I seem to remember something in the courts in recent times. इसके ऊपर किसी
अ
मतलब ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी ग्रुप्स ने कभी कोई केस वेस किया है?
अ There is a thing called fifth schedule in Jharkhand. हाँ, कुछ
हुँ,
केसेस हुए
या
हैं बट इट्स नॉट ऑन माय टॉप, इट्स नॉट, मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि इस साल हुआ है लेकिन क्लियर डिटेल्स क्लियर नहीं है अभी। द
अच्छा।
थिंग इज द थिंग इज देयर इज अ थिंग कॉल्ड फिफ्थ शेड्यूल। तो
हुँ,
ट्राइबल्स हैव अप टिल नाउ, इट माइट गेट चेंज इन द यूसीसी और व्हाटएवर,
हुँ,
आई डोंट नो द लॉज नाउ, it might get changed. So they have the right over the plot कि इस जगह पे this is community land owned by the मतलब governed under fifth schedule and you cannot do this thing kind of things here.
हुँ,
So the thing is that what's happening here कि Jharkhand has accumulated a lot of migrants over the
अ लॉट ऑफ
centuries. Migrants.
ओके,
Uh, there were the Bangladeshi migrants. They, before I say, Jharkhand is a very peaceful state. Let me say,
हुँ,
the same person who would live in the UP or Bihar when he comes here, he will not the customs there. There's no chut chat here. There's a small problem of witch hunting here, which people are taking, or the people are working towards it.
Hmm.
But people try to make Jharkhand matlab, everyone who lives here, they want to make it peaceful place here. There
Okay.
were riots in the early 1970s, and there was one in 1915 due to BJP workers.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. So
I don't
everyone who
doubt that.
comes here, uh, sorry.
I don't
Okay.
doubt
So,
that. Hmm.
so everyone who comes here, they try to make a secluded place. Even the South Indians, the Malayalis who have come
Hmm.
here, the people from Northeast who come here, they can tell you this, that but people are peaceful here. They want to live together. They want to work together. So the thing is, these people, they are trying to make this a political issue. They want to make it a religious issue. And
Hmm.
if you ask them, if you ask the person, ki, tell me the difference between these are tell me the difference between Shruti and Smriti, they won't be able
Hmm.
to tell you this.
Yeah.
मतलब
Yeah. I call it
उनको पता नहीं.
Hindugiri. Like
हाँ,
there is
भाई.
Hinduism, there is Hindutva, and then there is Hindugiri. Hindugiri is the last category where someone who has no understanding of anything, no argument, no point, but they just use some vaguely Hindu sounding motifs in order to assert that they're more Hindu than other people. They will just use ये वेदों में लिखा है नहीं लिखा था ये गीता में नहीं था a whole lot of social media superstition is the source of this. So I think when you say that people are trying to make this political, I think it should be political because it is a political issue, right? If the constitution guarantees certain safeties to tribal communities, then those communities should have it. What it should not be made is religious. But then again, the people who do this, as you pointed out, don't actually do like know much about their own religion. So they're doing Hindugiri. It's a land grab tactic. It's a
Yeah.
tactic being used to take protected lands from tribal communities. And this is something that's quite old. There are entire gods in Hinduism who have been appropriated from tribal communities, who used to be tribal gods, but they were assimilated into Hinduism by Brahmins claiming that this is an avatar of Vishnu or something. Everyone is an avatar of Vishnu, apparently.
Apparently, I would like to say something, and there is a different set of philosophies called the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas have a different philosophy. The Shivaites have a different philosophy. Apparently,
Hmm.
there were people who used to worship Brahma.
Hmm.
So people try to appropriate everything,
Yeah.
and let that's a different
In fact,
aspect. I'm not talking about.
if you go back long enough in history, you might find that many of the gods who we right now think of as you know uh, proto Hindu, like they start like Hinduism was they're like default properties of Hinduism as a religion. They were also appropriated. What we know as Hinduism today is a collection of a whole lot of religions or whole lot of cultural practices by a whole lot of communities spread across India.
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, if I could continue, then I
Huh,
would like to
go on,
say,
go on.
yeah. So there is a
Sorry, sorry
thing.
for interrupting.
Okay, okay, okay. So here's the thing: the forest land which they are trying to grab. Actually, where I live in Jamshedpur, that's my home place, hometown. So there used to be a place which was connected to the Greater Dalma region, the Greater
Hmm.
Forest region, and what happened with these statues and things like that, they cut off a whole elephant corridor, and they are trying
Yeah.
to go inside, and they have a great support from BJP over here,
Hmm.
because uh, I would not like to name the states from which the migrants recent migrants in the 1990s and in the 2000s. uh, there's a place called Mango, and that's the bone of content here. That
Hmm.
place is trying to expand in the forest region,
Hmm.
and it uh, there are different religions involved here. There are Muslims
Okay.
there, there are Hindus there, and they have all created a center of power. They are slowly, acre by acre, they are trying to cut into the forests and mountains there. And recently, there have been more incidents of wild animal encounters and accidents like that.
Hmm.
And even can I ask you something? Is my name visible, the entire name visible on the stream? Anything like that?
No, it's just MKT.
Okay, okay. Then the thing is, the local administrative officials are also involved in this. They are promoting, they are taking papers and they are removing the old papers in the land records. They are removing those entire. They are destroying the papers, the official
Hmm.
records. They are trying to destroy it before everything gets digitized. So
Hmm.
I have worked as I was cycling, and I know a lot of friends who work in the government offices. They are trying to digitize by cameras and things like that because local land is getting grabbed. Uh,
I
and
don't
that is it.
understand that they're going to digitize by camera,
Also,
etc. What do you mean by
sorry,
that?
sorry, 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 sorry. Let me give you a context. The earlier land records and everything, forest
Hmm.
land records and the land records in from the Bengal to the Bihar Sarkar and things like that. Those
Hmm.
are on papers. Those are maps
Hmm.
and their physical records ki these people are paying taxes on this piece of land.
Hmm.
Okay, so those records are supposed to get digitized and so that everyone is able to see. So
Okay.
what the local administration is doing, there are people involved in there. They are trying to destroy those records, the old records, before they
Hmm.
get digitized. It's happening in stages.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I get it
so
now.
they are trying to destroy those papers and grab as much land as possible.
Hmm.
So there are people, there are NGO people, and there are local people who are trying to take photographs, have evidence with Google Map and things like that. Google Map also has a scope of error there. You cannot exactly pinpoint कि this at this GPS location 2013 में कितना था. हमारे यहाँ
Hmm.
पे after 2018 we have good maps. Before that we don't have good maps also in Google Maps.
Hmm.
So a lot of land is going over like that. And these were the things I would, as many
MKT,
people have.
like
Yes,
if
sir.
you have like resources that I can read up on about this, do you?
The land grab.
No,
Okay,
there
I'll
must have
send
been a
you. I'll send.
reportage or stuff written about this in media and stuff. If you can send me stuff, please feel free to do so. I'll read up and learn more about it. Otherwise, it'll just be you talking and me nodding and occasionally
Okay,
saying
okay,
something
okay,
and you getting
okay,
interrupted.
okay. नहीं ठीक है. I'll when
My
will I
my
send?
email
Where will
address is vimo@vimo.in.
Vimo at Vimo. Okay,
Vimo.in. Cool.
okay. Vimo
Thank you.
at the rate. Sorry,
Vim,
sorry, sorry.
Vimo at
Vimo.
the rate Vimo.in.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye. That was MKT. I have another Abhishek here. Let's take them. Hi, Abhishek.
Hello, Vimoh. Am I
Hello.
audible? Yeah, I'm not
You're
the
audible.
same guy. I hope so.
Yeah. Your name
Um,
your name is written as Abhishek, but your avatar shows a D.
oh, okay.
Go on.
Okay. Um,
Go on. Go on. Go
so
on. No issues.
I,
Go on.
I, I wanted to ask you something about, so we all say that, Modi should not win in 2024, but who
Who
is
says
the other
this?
one that I think we all say this,
We all say
all on
this.
the left, I think.
I don't know what you mean by
Um,
we. I know plenty of people who say the opposite also.
oh, I thought that we are almost on the same side.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Go on.
that's why. Yeah. So who is the other one that you think that that is a potential prime minister
Who's we have a
who has
parliamentary
the
system. We have a parliamentary system. This is not a presidential system where we look for faces. I think that there is going to be a fight between two alliances. One of them is going to be NDA, an alliance where the BJP alienated a lot of their allies, and now they're having to go back to them because the opposition is getting united. And then the other alliance is going to be what was formerly the UPA and may possibly this time be called the PDA. If that happens, then the PDA will choose its prime ministerial face and the BJP or the NDA will choose its prime ministerial face. It may not even be Narendra Modi from their side, right? It may also be that in 2024 the NDA wins and Narendra Modi is not the prime minister and someone else is. So I don't think we should look at the 2024 election as the fight between two faces because it's very American way of looking at things. We have a parliamentary system. It works on coalition. It works on many parties coming together on common causes, and that's how we should look at it. The moment
Okay,
you make it
so
about
let me
faces,
ask you
na,
this because
we
yeah,
dilute the thing into something very shallow. Go on.
I understand. But why I think a face is important is like I don't know if you think the same way. Probably not. That's why you said it. But I think that the schemes that are like happening and will happen even in the other government. Do you think that a face is required at the top for people to unite together for for more intensity at work, or you don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that. We had Manmohan Singh had a face, has a face for 10 years, right? And schemes still happened and people still benefited from them, and bad things still happened and people got hurt because of them. The face makes no difference except for PR purposes, which is not exactly something that is being done for the benefit of the people who are voting. It is being done for the benefit of the party which wants to remain relevant. A face is a mascot.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you think the importance of the term leader should exist just in the party and not must be known by the people in the country. Like it, a leader
I
should
don't know what
be
you,
a
I'm not
leader
sure what you
should
mean by that.
be able to lead his party well
Hmm.
in order to run the country better, but it should not be about I'm saying that you're saying this, that it should not be about that the leader should exist in every person's heart or mind. That's not
I'm
important.
saying I'm saying a general election in
Hmm.
India is a parliamentary process. It requires a lot of political parties coming together and uniting on common causes to create a coalition that may fight an election on the basis of issues. If we make it about faces, then it becomes a popularity contest, and that in the long run is not healthy for the country or the democracy.
Okay. But why is it then in a country like ours or in any other country? I'm not really against you, but I want to know about this more from you.
What
Uh,
are you asking?
that
What is the question?
that there will always be the time there it will always happen that if a better person or if a better speaker or if a better orator comes up, he has a very good chance of winning the elections. So
Yeah,
you
that's
think
because
that?
so that's a
Yeah.
function of public relations, right? That's a function of the attention economy that we exist in. Because there have been prime ministers who are not at all good speakers. There have been prime ministers whose main claim to fame was that I grew up in the 90s and I don't want to name names, but there were prime ministers who were famous because a lot of people took pictures of them while they fell asleep, right?
Hmm.
So we live in the year 2023, and a whole lot of politics is based on a shallow parameter called charisma. Sure, someone may be a good speaker, but that tells me nothing about their policies or their intentions for the country. And someone may
But
be a
it does
bad speaker.
impact it does impact the regular Indian citizen, right?
Yeah, it
His
does.
mind it impacts, right?
Yeah, and I'm saying
Even
that
if you, yeah,
that is not
yeah.
healthy. That's what I'm saying.
But you and I can know about this, that this is all PR and this is all, being a salesman, and I agree with you absolutely. But
Hmm.
don't you think that that should be a very important part of any leader's resume? You don't think so? Like if I listen to a Rahul Gandhi Stanford lecture, and I think that maybe this guy is not that intelligent, just only because I'm not able to see the strength that other leader kind of puts out. Even I'm saying this as someone who sees that it's all fakery. I
Hmm.
know that,
I get it. I get
I
it. I
s-
get it.
but still, because you just said that it's all PR, but the regular Indian citizen will never see it that way, and that time will
I don't
come.
think that is
I don't know when
correct.
that will come.
I don't think that is correct. And people from, like, I'm assuming you're from a reasonably well-to-do middle-class family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people like you and people like me also, we have this illusion that we have a better handle on how uh, a candidate should be chosen. Like, we know what is really happening, but those poor people, they don't really get it. I don't think that is true.
Well,
I think poor, poor
what is
people.
the
I think poor people
family?
actually get. Listen, for you and I, the only reason we are talking about faces is because our lives are not getting affected on a policy level. The poor who choose candidates often make decisions on the basis of what impact policies are having on their lives. And people from our background, people from your background and my background, we are unable to understand this. And we keep thinking that they don't know what they're doing. When in fact, the main reason India has managed to remain a democracy is because the poor actually do understand what matters. It is we who are clueless about it.
But the poor are the people who elected Narendra Modi to the top, right? So
No, the BJP's main base is urban and educated. The poor uh, voted on the basis of the promises that were made to them. The poor are also the people who threw the BJP out of Karnataka. We need to stop looking at the entirety of Indian politics and its history on the basis of what happened in 2014. A lot of other things have also happened. Himachal
it's
Pradesh
not that
happened, Karnataka
it's
happened.
not that I want Vimoh, it's not that I was saying that you and I understand and the poor people don't. It's that I see a lot of people, even in a much more well-to-do family than I am in.
Mm,
I don't
mm,
think I am, but yeah, reasonably so in India. Being I
mm.
think having a family income of 80,000-90,000 also puts you there. But I don't think that even those people at the top or the CEOs of the company are not impacted by good sales tactics, because it's uh, you
I think
always
they're
want to
affected more
see.
actually.
So they
I
are.
think they're
So
affected
so
more
then
by
it
it. The poor
matters.
are affected by it less
But
because
who are the
and
people at the
there's a
rallies who are going there and screaming
people
and
who get
shouting for
paid for it.
images?
People who for whom it's a way to make money. People who want to look at a politician, hear his speech, and come to some kind of conclusion about whether or not to support them.
So
You
all
are
the
assuming
thousands
that
and
just
thousands
because
of
large
people
number
at
of
the rallies are
you are
paid.
assuming that yeah, a lot of them are. Yeah, are you not aware of the fact that political parties hire buses that travel to far off villages, fill those buses, and bring them to rallies? That's how the crowds are created.
A lot of time it works, but it's like you're concluding it that way. It's like saying that a
No, no,
film
no. It
star
is. This is no.
pays
These
for
are
every
known
seat in
facts.
the theaters.
These are
It's
known
not a
facts.
known fact. How can you know
Yes, it
that
is.
for sure
Abhishek,
for every person?
there is plenty of journalism about this. There's plenty of reportage about this. There's plenty of exposes about this. There have been reports about how even in Australia, when the Prime Minister visited recently, buses came from all over Australia full of NRI Indians. Surely, all the people who were there that day were not from the local areas, right?
Yeah,
Political
but
campaigning
those are the
works
people
on
who are looking
levels
for
where
networking and connections. I'm not talking about those people.
some
But
are
but
some are sure, but many are just there because somebody told them to get in a bus and get there.
but Vimo, you really think that all the people, most of the people at the rallies are paid to be there? Like
I never
uh,
said all the people. I said many are.
Name most of the people. I said
No,
most
many.
of
I
the
said
people.
many. I didn't say most.
How
I
many
don't know if
then?
I said
Let's
most.
let's give a percentage then. Like
How do
if
you expect me
5,000
to come to
people are
this?
there,
How do you expect me to give an answer to that? How do you
that's exactly what I'm saying. How do you expect to come to that conclusion then? Because if you
because
can't
I
give
have
any
seen I have
data,
listen, I'm not saying I can't give any data. I'm saying I can't give you specific data about exactly how many people have been paid and how many have not been. I'm saying there is ample experience, there is ample data to suggest that this is a common practice among political parties. Karyakartas go to people's houses. Sometimes they pay them, sometimes they don't pay them. So they say that this campaign is happening, this speech is happening, come and join. Sometimes people come, many times people don't even come. And many times people come despite not wanting to come because they're paid. Because somebody says, here, take this much money, get in a bus and go sit in that crowd. There is
see,
data
Vimo,
on this.
I have lived in Delhi gullies where there have leaders have come, and
Hmm.
I doubt if my family was paid. I have to ask my father that, or the other person, people living in the apartments, that they were paid to be there.
Abhishek,
Like
what is the point of
it's a
this?
very high level of looking at this, I think, because you
What is a
just
high level?
said something
I
which
don't know
I
what you're saying really. I just pointed out that crowds at election campaigns are often there because they have been paid and told to come join. You are telling me my dad never got paid. What do these two things
That's
have to do
not
with each
what
other?
I'm telling you. It's just what I said is just as vague as the thing that you said, because you said that most of the people and many of the people, whatever you might say,
Abhishek,
but
did
but
you
but
understand
that
what I said? You understood what I said,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, but,
Let's
but
move. Let's move past it. You know my opinion on this. I know your opinion on this. Get to the next point.
okay, okay. But like I didn't come here to disagree about this, but because
Next
I
point.
talked
Next
to you
point.
sometime earlier too about this because you said that this is the times of salespeople, and I
Hmm.
agreed with you there. But now you're saying a completely different
Again,
thing.
next point. Next point.
You don't want to talk about it, okay? Um,
I don't want to waste time talking about it. I already talked about it. What's the next point?
no, I think this would be enough. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Bye bye. That was Abhishek. The next caller. Wait, private chat में करना है क्या? Hmm. Animesh. Hi, Animesh. Animesh.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. So my question was that just because due to this Adipurush controversy a few days back,
Hmm.
so these people started throwing the old interviews of Manoj Muntashir.
Hmm.
So I observed one thing that in those interviews he was appeared very calm and talking with sensible things like
Hmm.
secular things that Urdu is also our language, all such
Hmm.
that. And then later what to say later the later interviews where he appeared a spokesperson for BJP. In those
Hmm.
interviews and interactions he was getting very aggressive
Who
mode.
who was?
Manoj Muntashir in the later
Okay.
videos
About
when
what?
about any topic in those news channels when he appeared on news debates, he
Hmm.
appeared very aggressive stance. So it was
Hmm.
like a personality change. So and similar like that Kangana Ranaut also I observed that she was what you say she was earlier when she gave interviews her personality was calm and sophisticated, but after that during the SSR thing she started shouting venom like shouting and talking very aggressively. So my
Hmm.
question is that when these these people join the other side, it's like they
Hmm.
become political, so how come their personalities changes so much means uh,
Because they're told to do so.
hmm, means
If like
yeah.
there is,
Hmm,
uh, you will notice that when uh, something happens in a state, our central government no longer actually deals with the chief minister. They just deal with the governor. The chief minister, in many cases, or the celebrities that you speak of who have been assimilated into the propaganda machinery, they're told that they need to be loud and get attention as much as possible. That is also the reason why trending topics, etc., happen on Twitter, where people say things like, uh, you know, just random hateful stuff. And the reason they say it so that people will respond to it and it'll trend for a day, and that would be it. So their goal is to create noise so that we all turn and look at it, and we don't. The goal is to hijack the agenda for the day.
yeah. So in my mind, it was like a Star Wars comparison. In
Hmm.
Star Wars, those people who are very strong with the Force, so the Jedi pick them and train them, and suddenly the
Hmm.
Sith comes and convert them to the dark side. And it's like fear is the path to dark side. It seemed like similar to that. Means how can and the people who come turn to the dark side somehow get corrupted or get the face get disfigured or something like the eyes, like how Anakin eyes turned yellow. It appears something similar to that. Means
That's
how?
an interesting. That's an interesting
Uh,
metaphor. That's an
yeah,
interesting
means,
metaphor. Turning to the dark
mm,
side, but
yeah.
the dark side and the Force, the Jedi Council. I don't think they map very well onto this dichotomy because they don't work in an attention economy. Like the politics of their universe does not
Hmm.
depend on public opinion. It is controlled, like because it's a galaxy and there are so many planets. I don't think there is a central transmission authority which can broadcast programs to every planet in the galaxy, although I may be wrong about this. But if that was the case, the politics of Star Wars would be very different. There would be Sith channels which indoctrinate young people into joining the dark side, right? But
Yeah,
the Star
that's
Wars
also
universe
interesting.
tend.
Yeah,
The
Star
Star Wars
Wars also.
universe is very mythical in nature. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Star Wars universe. We're getting off topic here, but just an observation. Star Wars, they show a high tech galaxy society, but there is no internet. So
Hmm.
I was watching Andor, just serious, just thing.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and the second thing I was
They have communication technology, but they don't have something resembling a broadcast network that spans the galaxy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the second point I was like, regarding this Rajiv Malhotra video with Nityananda. So I
Hmm.
just observed one thing, that if we see technically, Nityananda has already created a sort of Hindu Rashtra himself.
Mhm.
So those who want the Hindu Rashtra, then why don't you go there and enjoy it for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
while for vacation and come back?
I why vacation? Go there permanently only. Like
Yeah.
whenever someone says कि हिंदू राष्ट्र बनना चाहिए, like you pointed out in the private chat, we should just say हाँ हिंदू राष्ट्र already है रे, तू जा उधर रहे, permanent वहाँ पे residence बना ले. In fact, there is this cartoonist on Instagram called Sanatanan who made a cartoon about how if there was a nation only for Brahmins, it wouldn't last long because the upper caste society is so used to surviving on the labor of the so-called lower caste that nobody would actually do the work and the
Yeah.
society would collapse.
And regarding also Hindu Rashtra means, I had also debates with some of my friends and colleagues. Means
Hmm.
what exactly they want from Hindu Rashtra? What is the means? What is not there in current India that they have to create a support certificate Hindu Rashtra? Means
Yeah.
I asked some of these guys, तुम लोग क्या 20% का वैसा जेनोसाइड चाहिए क्या, वैसा डिक्टेटरशिप चाहिए?
Hmm.
बोला हाँ
Hmm.
चाहिए, हमको चाहिए हिंदू राष्ट्र. So if it typically
How
if we
old are
do this,
these people?
my age around 26, 27, 28.
So yeah, make better friends. Anyone who is in your friend circle and he says, हाँ genocide चाहिए, don't be friends with them. Because at some point they're going to fuck up their own life and yours also.
And also means, if the thing is, are this BJP guys or whatever organization, they are seriously about Hindu Rashtra? But it seems like a carrot in front of the rabbits. Means
Hmm.
if tomorrow, suppose Hindu Rashtra, India becomes Hindu Rashtra, everyone is a Hindu,
Hmm.
then their game is over, right? Their game plan is over. Now these people are okay, abhi hum Hindu Rashtra ban gaye, chalo abhi development do. Then what they will do then? The rulers will do. They will start dividing
Yeah.
upon caste. So after the caste
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
what they will divide. So
I
I
mean,
guess.
when you feed hatred into a society, hatred and discrimination into a society, it's only a matter of time before it comes back to bite you in the ass. अभी कल या ही कुछ हुआ है जहाँ पे there was this person who got beaten up by Kawadias because apparently they thought he was Muslim and it turns out he was a BJP member.
Oh,
And he was not even Muslim. He was a Hindu man and a BJP member and he got beaten up by Kawadias who thought he was Muslim. So when you feed hatred into society, at some point of time, it'll blindfold people's eyes to such an extent that it's going to come back to you. So yeah, you're right. In fact, I made a video about this on my main channel some time ago. I was talking, I think, to Sindhu, and we talked about the definition of Hindu Rashtra and all that, and how whenever someone mentions Hindu Rashtra, people should do what you did. You should just ask, what do you mean by that? How will it be different from what we have right now?
and okay, to finish it off just with the Abhishek's point, means
Hmm.
regarding the paid rallies, a
Hmm.
few years ago, means my father was coming back from Nagpur to Mumbai on a train, and he saw that entire train was filled with people of a political party. I think it was from Mayawati's party. She had come for a rally there, and
Hmm.
that train was filled of for them. And they, in spite of people having reserved tickets, they were not allowed to sit there. Those guys were having means sitting on the reserved seats, having chit, enjoying the time, fighting
Hmm.
going on, and my
Hmm.
father had to stand for 5 hours. So five
No.
hours in the train, and in spite that TC also is helpless. He was asking all the reserve candidates for tickets and could not do that. So just
Yeah.
to for
Political
Abhishek.
rallies are political rallies are like, I don't know, like the crowds are part of the messaging, right? A leader is giving a speech. Look at how many people have attended. We have seen so many versions of this. We have seen versions where karyakartas are told to get crowds. They go, they offer money, but people still don't come. We have seen versions where karyakartas are told to get crowds. they get people and people come and the crowd is huge, but then some reporter goes into the crowd and asks someone, why have you come, and he says, मेरे को 200 रुपए मिले थे, बस में बैठा दिया, 200 रुपए दिया, खाने को दिया, मैं आ गया. uh, it's more common than most people realize. I'm not saying that nobody ever attends an election rally out of pure love for the politician, but the fact that payment also happens is quite, like, it's a huge chunk of it.
Hmm.
I don't know why Abhishek got so upset about it. Like, was he under the impression that every election rally and every crowd at every election rally is like completely full of people who just came of their own free will?
Yeah, I can't speak for him.
Yeah,
because,
I don't know. I don't know what was so upsetting about that. Anyway, thank you, Animesh, for coming.
yeah, thanks for.
Bye bye. That was Animesh. I have removed the link to join from the chat from the pinned comment. There are 4 people left. I'll try to finish this in the next 15 minutes. So I guess everyone has 5 minutes. Let's take Shiroyasha. Hi, Shiroyasha. 5 minutes.
हाँ हर बार मुझे 5 मिनट ही दो
और तुम 10 मिनट लेते हो.
10 मिनट हाँ मतलब उससे ऊपर कभी जाता नहीं है तो देखो
हाँ.
फास्ट फास्ट बोलता हूँ ये रैली वाला जो पॉइंट है ना व्हाट आई फील इज देखो होगा कि सम रैलीज आर जस्ट मतलब नंबर्स दिखाने के लिए पोल करते हैं बट व्हाट आई थिंक इज द मेन गोल इज टू शो की भीड़ आई है
Yeah.
उसके थ्रू एक पैसिव इन्फ्लुएंस डेवलप करना कि देखो भीड़ तो
Yeah.
आई थी तो कुछ तो बोल ही रहा
Hmm.
होगा तो
Hmm.
टीवी के थ्रू शायद वो चाहता है एक मैसेज
Hmm.
जब
It's called
दिखती है
social
भीड़
proof.
भीड़
There
Yeah.
is some research to prove that among chimpanzees, female is more likely to gravitate towards a male who's surrounded by females because she thinks, okay, so many females are around him, there must be something about him, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So we see this in social media also. Sometimes you'll find people making a reel where they're not looking at the camera, they're looking off camera. What is the message? The message is that they're talking to someone and that someone is presumably listening to them. So there must be a
Correct.
reason why they're listening.
करेक्ट
Yeah.
बट व्हाट आई थिंक इज अभिषेक का ड्रिफ्ट शायद ये था दैट मोदी इज द पॉपुलर लीडर स्टिल तो
Hmm.
अगर भीड़ जा भी रही तो शायद मेजोरिटी लोग होंगे जो अपने उससे जा रहे हैं या खुश होकर जा रहे हैं वट एवर इट इज आई थिंक
तो
दैट्स व्हाई
उससे
गॉट
तो
अ लिटिल अपसेट
उससे तो इवन इफ यू रिमूव द पार्ट अबाउट लोग जा रहे हैं, आई डोंट थिंक इट इज इवन ट्रू दैट मोदी इज ड्रॉइंग मोर क्राउड्स देन लेट्स से राहुल गांधी.
हाँ मतलब वो तो अब उसमें तो आई
I'm
कांट
saying
कमेंट
that I'm not saying that राहुल गांधी की रैली में सब लोग अपने मन से जा रहे हैं और मोदी की रैली में सब पैसे लेके आ रहे हैं. मैं कह रहा हूँ कि इफ यू आर जस्ट गोइंग टू काउंट नंबर्स आल्सो इट इज नॉट ट्रू दैट ही इज गेटिंग मोर पीपल.
बट आई इवेंचुअली द पॉइंट आई थिंक आई वाज ट्राइंग टू मेक इज ये इलेक्शन आने तो वापस उसी पे वाला है ना मोदी वर्सेस हु के ऊपर एंड पब्लिक परसेप्शन डज स्वे व्हेन इट कम्स टू द लोकसभा इलेक्शंस वो
I
फेस
think
पे
that
बात
I
बिकॉज
think that
मोदी
to a
मेड
certain
दैट
extent
गेम दैट वे
I think, yeah. So Modi made that game matter, like the face versus face game, you mean,
या
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
he did, but he also made a lot of other games, and those games have stopped mattering.
आई थिंk
If
स्टेट
the
लेवल पे वो
organizer,
चीज
if the RSS mouthpiece can write an article saying Modi's face no longer has that much weight, then how much does that game matter really? If a face like Mallikarjun Kharge becomes the prime ministerial candidate against Modi, do you think that that's a bad idea? I don't think it's going to matter.
ट्रू मतलब
I mean,
आई
Rahul
थिंक
Gandhi.
इट विल बी रियली
Suppose we land at a place where Mallikarjun Kharge is the prime ministerial candidate, and Rahul Gandhi can't contest elections, and the face from the BJP side is Narendra Modi, and Rahul Gandhi just campaigns for the Congress side or the UPA side or the PDA side. It might still end up making the BJP lose, right?
आई मीन हाँ मतलब आई
I
डोंट
think
नो आई थिंक
faces matter, but not to the degree that we think they matter. Nobody
True.
is making a decision about nobody except the affluent urban BJP voter perhaps is making decisions about who to vote for just on the basis of a face anymore. The face has stopped, kind of not stopped, but has started mattering less than it used to.
ओके हाँ बट देखते हैं इस बार क्या होगा इट विल बी रियली इंटरेस्टिंग आई थिंक
Yeah.
कुछ सीट्स जाएंगे बट आई डोंट थिंक दे विल लूज देयर मेजॉरिटी कुछ ना कुछ अलायंस लेके मतलब दे विल बी एबल टू कीप इट बट लॉस तो डेफिनेटली होगा उतना
Let's
तो
see.
मतलब क्या होता है अप्रूवल रेटिंग होता है ना उतना तो गिरा होगा बट इतना भी नहीं आई थिंक दैट इट गोस टू 50-50 व्हाट डू यू थिंक
I disagree.
व्हाट डू यू थिंक हाफ तो मतलब बता
I think they're going to lose massively.
मैसिवली
Yes.
फिर तो मजा आएगा. That's good to know. तो ठीक है, देखते हैं. One more thing, जैसे one thing you said, right, सोसाइटी में hate spew करोगे तो it will come back to you.
Hmm.
Isn't this parallel to karma theory?
Parallel to what?
Karma theory.
Karma applies to the
Karma bites
individual
you.
soul. If you're taking karma as it exists in the scripture, it applies to the individual soul.
Mhm.
And in the case
But
of this thing where a Hindu gets attacked because people think he's Muslim, maybe that Hindu didn't actually put out any hate in the society, but he remained quiet, or even if he did not remain quiet and opposed it, he will still bear the fruits of it.
ट्रू, ये हुआ था बीजेपी लीडर के साथ उत्तराखंड में. उसकी
Hmm.
जो डॉटर थी, शी मैरिड अ मुस्लिम गाय, एंड
And he had to
दे
cancel it, right?
जस्ट टू शो
Yeah.
द पब्लिक कि मतलब मैंने कर दिया. बट आई थिंक सीक्रेटली उन लोगों ने कुछ तो किया है. दे वोंट
I
कैंसिल इट
hope
ऑब्वियसली.
so. I hope the I
ऑब्वियसली.
hope the poor young couple didn't have to bear the price
नो
for her father's politics.
नो, बट लॉज आर डिफरेंट फॉर द पॉलिटिशियंस, राइट? मतलब वो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, बट हाँ, पब्लिक
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
परसेप्शन मैटर
There
करता
are
है,
so
तो उसके
many
लिए उनको बोलना
politicians who
पड़ता
have this, who have a hateful agenda towards this community or that community, and you'll find that people and their families are married to those.
है. एग्जैक्टली.
Yeah.
ठीक है, लास्ट पॉइंट. आपके टी शर्ट पे जो मर्चेंडाइज है उसमें एक स्लोगन था, सबका मालिक फेक है. ये मैंने
Hmm.
चैट में ही पूछा था. तो
Hmm.
ये थोड़ा गलत नहीं है? एज पर योर स्टैंडिंग यू शुड से सबका
What's
मालिक
standing?
फेक. सबका मालिक फेक लगता है या हो सकता है.
It's a
यू आर
joke,
सेइंग
man.
सबका मालिक
It's a
फेक है.
T-shirt. It's a
हाँ
T-shirt.
यार,
I'm not making a factual statement in it. I'm trying to rhyme and make a slogan that people might find funny.
मैं भी मजे ही ले रहा था. चलो,
Acha.
थैंक्स.
ठीक है. Thanks,
गुड.
man. Bye. That was Shiroyasha. There are 3 people left, and they are the first among them is uh, Dragoons with 3 O's and a 292010. Dragoons ये क्या यूजरनेम है?
ये मेरा यूट्यूब यूजर नेम है.
अच्छा, और तुम्हारा
आई हैव
डिस्प्ले
टू
पिक्चर
हाइड इट.
शटर स्टॉक है.
ये एक्चुअली मुझे वो एनोनिमस रखना था फोटो.
अच्छा,
तो
cool. बोलो.
okay, let us I just wanted to make a short story about a friend that I
You
usually
have
contact.
you have 5 minutes. Can you finish it in that?
I will try my best.
Okay, so leave me
Yes.
some time
So,
to answer also.
yeah.
Hmm.
So the thing is, he used to work at they used to work at a news website,
Hmm.
which is very strongly communist based.
Okay.
Like just within last 2 years,
Okay.
and we are of the, let's say, we are of the same caste. Like we are of
Okay.
the same upper caste Brahmins.
Okay.
So the thing is, that they always used to point out that even though if that person wasn't actually a casteist in the sense,
Okay.
like they didn't actually hate the lower caste. They actually didn't want to treat the low caste as
Who are
or
you talking about? Your
the
friend or the
yeah,
publishers?
my friend.
Okay. Okay.
While the publishers have the communist, and they had the usual rhetorics about the caste, and they always used to kind of pick her up, bully her.
Okay. Okay.
So that has actually shifted our perspective majorly.
Hmm.
So the first point would be regarding the propagation of our ideology, even the bare left or liberal side. Liberal side.
Hmm.
It seems like we are kind of being way too much harsh on the ones who would who are actual fence centers, not like the beer biceps ones.
Hmm.
So that's one of the first point, and the second point is just after that. They used to we and I and her used to have a debate on the identity thing. Like
Hmm.
I told her that I do not want to be identified as a Hindu. I do not identify as a Brahmin,
Hmm.
and they told me that I'm a coward. Simple as that. Because
Who did this?
my
Your
friend,
friend or the publisher?
my
Okay, your
friend, my
friend
friend
told. Okay. Huh.
told me
Why
that
did your
I'm a
friend say
coward
this? Hmm.
because she's of the opinion that as a Brahmin, you have to represent that not all Brahmins are castes, not all
Hmm.
the Hindus are the way the stereotypes pushes them to.
I think I
And
know
if you are
why
moving
the
away,
publishers. I think why the publisher. I think I understand why the publishers thought your friend was casteist.
yeah, you can. So that's the basic precise because uh,
No, my point
she
is
was.
if you're if you're from a Brahmin background and you're calling yourself Brahmin,
She
then
doesn't
you are
call herself a
engaging
Brahmin.
in.
She
But she
doesn't
did tell
call
you.
herself.
But she did tell
She,
you to listen. You said that you're a Brahmin, and you said that I don't want to call myself a Brahmin.
yeah.
Your friend then said that you should call yourself a Brahmin. Does that not seem to you like she was asserting caste?
No, she was of the opinion that anyways the lower caste are not going to accept us if we are going to reject our caste, and and in many ways our caste does kind of influence our societies and the thought. So that's how she, she say if they are not going to allow me, what's the point
Hmm.
of it? That's her
Okay,
opinion.
let me ask you this: if you're from a Brahmin family and you don't
Yeah,
believe in caste, then what do you do?
yeah. It is still the practices and the basic language. She doesn't say that the language or the
What
accent that
practice? Can you give me
they
an example? Can you give me an example of this practice?
basically the open the basic prayers, the basic Sanskrit prayers. That's it.
Yeah. So many of those prayers assert casteism, right?
She simply
Because
would
they
say
come
that I
from
would
books.
say that prayers. That's it. She will simply say
No,
that, well, I won't be saying those
so
prayers.
that's my
My
point.
prayer,
That's my point. That is where I'm disagreeing with your friend. Many of these things, many of these prayers themselves come from books which reinforce the idea of caste. So if someone is thinking of them as just purely a prayer, they are kind of subscribing to caste as an idea.
yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I told.
Hmm.
But
And then
again,
what did your
this
friend say?
my friends again. She said usually what every Raita Hindus say.
Acha.
I do not have to subscribe to that book. I just
Okay.
need to subscribe to this particular shloka which shows reverence towards Krishna.
Hmm.
Let's say Krishna or Shiva.
Hmm.
That's all I'm ascribing to. I'm a bhakt of Shiva. I'm not bhakt of the caste that the book represents. That's it.
you
That's
will
what
you
they
will
say.
find people you will find people who are from Dalit backgrounds who might also call themselves Hindu, and you
Yeah,
might also find people from Dalit and Bahujan backgrounds who say that opposition to caste must necessarily mean opposition to Hinduism. I
yeah.
think a better way for you to solve this issue would be to talk to one of those people, to talk to both kinds of people, and then come to your own conclusions. I don't think I have the answer to this.
Yeah, so I am just, uh, I am perfectly fine with, dissociating myself with the caste identity and even the religious identity to
Hmm.
an extent that if tomorrow the government comes and say that, hey, you can, dissociate yourself and make yourself a no caste, no religion
Hmm.
kind of person, then I would be the first one to stand on that queue.
Okay.
And I also mentioned this in one very important point that most of the politicians do know the demographics of a certain location. If I am
Hmm.
still identifying myself as a Hindu or a Brahmin, a
Hmm.
politician will think that that he's catering to me.
Yeah.
So,
But
but again, he is actually not. So this day, I can anonymously act as a data to anyone who is actually trying to collect the data of the demographics. That
yeah, and that's
hey,
probably an
there are
example of the fact that even if you dissociate from your caste
yeah.
identity remains, and you cannot really be rid of the privileges that your caste provides you with.
Again, what I that is exactly what she said.
Hmm.
I She doesn't
That's what she said. Okay.
disagree that that she is not a privileged person. She does
Hmm.
acknowledge some of the privileges that comes with her caste,
Hmm.
and she also does acknowledges the caste system that exists within the Brahmin society. She's not like
Okay.
completely blind to it. She
Hmm.
speaks out against it, and that is exactly what she is saying. The
Okay.
Brahmin as an identity will I can neither they want to arrest, neither the government wants to arrest, neither the Dalit
Hmm.
Bahujan people want to will agree if dissociate with it
Yeah.
unless or
So I think
until Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the source of this, the source of your problem is that you don't understand how exactly to be a better ally, right?
Yeah, something like that. Because
Yeah.
that
So, and that
person that
problem
I'm
is only
talking
going to
very
get
close
solved.
to me. That's why,
Okay.
and she's actually
Okay.
not a, I wouldn't say
Oh,
that,
I'm sure. I'm sure. A
she's
lot of
actually
us
not
are
a
part
casted
of,
person.
a lot of
That's
us,
what I would
even though
say.
we are individually not bad people, we are part of oppressive systems. For example, the British ruled India for centuries, right?
Yeah,
And there might be people who are British who are completely in favor of the Indian freedom movement. But
yeah, yeah.
if they were in a situation where they were there and an Indian person was there and a British cop came, the British cop will not hit them and they will hit the Indian person, right?
Exactly right.
So, despite their best intentions, their identity prevented them from losing the privileges that they had. So, your friend and you perhaps need to talk to more Dalit Bahujan Adivasi people in order to figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. These are the two things. And again, just
Cool.
the last
Dragoons,
fact that I had to mention.
can
The
I
last
can I
small
move
fact.
on? Okay,
Just
cool.
2 minutes.
Last part,
That's
huh?
it. Yeah. So previous caller MTK mentioned about the two Hindu sect Vaishnavas and Shaivas.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to know, are you aware of the war that actually happened between them in South India?
I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so again, this the recently the movie came Ponniyin Selvan,
Hmm.
right? So the dynasty based on it, some of the Dalit Bahujan activists do say that
Hmm.
they are basically responsible for the caste system that is present today.
Hmm.
They are as much brutal. Before that, Tamil Nadu and the entire South India was not as much brutal as it was. But after that, after the advent of the Cholas of those particular Chola line,
Hmm.
it became worse. And so even some Brahmins who actually did, try to reduce the caste antagonism, not caste system, the caste
Okay.
antagonism, they were exiled. Most they were exiled, if not excommunicated from the society. So
Okay.
this is one of the factors that I wanted to speak about. That's it.
Okay. Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dragoons.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So there appears to be some technical issue with StreamYard. I'm inside StreamYard. I'm seeing Dragoons in the queue and I'm seeing Glenn Fernandez, but Glenn's devices are not connected and my live chat has completely stopped. It stopped at 9:07. If I go to YouTube, I'm seeing that the chat is working fine and that people have been sending super chats. So let me just thank one I can see. Sarad Shanmugh, thank you for the 1000 rupee super chat. Sharad says, keep up the good work, Vimoh. Nityananda is one of the early founders of a startup from Bangalore that has now become a unicorn, literally. Yeah, I guess that's one way of putting it. Let me see if I'm missing anything else. Hold on. Mm, okay, no. I'm actually much less used to uh, the. Oh, Meghnad has been a member of the channel for 8 months. Meghnad says full support for Vimo sir. I'm sorry I can't show it on screen because StreamYard is malfunctioning. I don't know what is happening. This had to happen on the day I renew my subscription. Not the day, but 2 days after I renew my subscription. Uh, Glenn, I can't take you on screen because your devices are not connected. I am removing you. Let me just read a few comments before I end today's live stream. I also have to order food. By the way, you guys know that I kind of made a new, how do I put it, eating regimen for myself. So for 1 year, I have not. I make it a point to not eat food from outside like samosa, kachori, ये सब पूरा बंद कर दिया है. Snacks बंद कर दिया है, and every day for lunch I have salad. Now for the most part I've stuck to this. I'm proud to say. But every Saturday, every second Saturday of the month is a cheat day for me. So on that day, I can eat food from outside. In fact, I overdo it perhaps. So last Saturday was second Saturday, and I forgot about it, and I ate salad. This Saturday, I'm kind of celebrating like my second Saturday. So I had pizza today, and I had ice cream, and I had puri chole in the morning. Right after the live stream ends, I will open Swiggy and I'll order something really nice for dinner. So I'm excited about that. Let me just read a few comments then before I go away. Mm, 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 mm. Taranga says EVM rigging, booth capture, horse trading post elections are a different ball game for the richest party. that is BJP, because their governance has been misruled across the board, and everyone knows that now. Yeah, I think a lot of us in the uh, urban bubble are not really seeing the widespread discontent against BJP that is happening on the very ground level right now. A part of it may simply be because Godi media does not show it, but a part of it also is that a lot of us are not keeping up with the news in the form of, actual journalists on YouTube, because that's where actual journalists are now. Arja says, Dragoons, I have also heard the same argument from my mother, who is not a Brahmin. Otherwise, we cannot fight with casteist persons on the matters of caste, according to her. Gunduchi says, Taranga, I saw someone ask for a 2-hour stream. Vimo might just retire if he started doing that. 2-hour stream is... मेरा 1 घंटे में बैंड बजने लगता है. The only way I can do a 2-hour stream is if I have 2 co-hosts where I don't have to speak that much. Or on days when I'm feeling very energetic, which is today, because I've kind of... This stream has been going on for what? 1 hour 38 minutes now. Illuminati says, Jesu, I know they're not bad. Okay, ये किसी का जवाब है. Abhishek Jha says, I know people are paid, but if you start thinking that more people are paid than not, then what you're saying is most people who watch Modi news won't step down and walk 20 steps to attend the rally. Abhishek, you're also assuming that everyone who gets paid does not want to be there. Many people are paid and don't go to the rally. Many people are paid and go to the rally. Many people don't want to go to the rally, but get paid and therefore go to the rally. It's not the sets are not the sets overlap a lot, and I don't think why you have such a huge problem with this. This is plainly visible across the all over the place. Taranga says, "Oh no, you missed all the good comments. So sad." Yeah, that's why I'm going back and reading some. Gonduchi says, let's lobby for the stream being 5 hours long. 5 hours long, where Vimo sleeps for an hour in between and we all watch. Shit. That actually is a thing, by the way. There are really popular streamers on Twitch who just turn on the camera and go to sleep, and people watch them sleep and they make money from it. Which reminds me, my Twitch handle is The Vimo Show. Please go follow. I might do reaction streams there, as I mentioned earlier. Amit Matthew says, Amit Matthew, thank you for the $5. Amit says, people are paid, but people are paid. I see what you did there. Dad jokes. Alex says, sorry, Memo, but subsidies should be targeted. Just today, I read that Punjab gives 300 units free and it consists of 80% customers. Poor people at most use 50 to 100 units. This is a scam on other people. You can have different opinions about the nuances of it and the percentage of it, but subsidies are not a bad idea. Certain implementations you might have a problem and you might point out कि ये गलत दिशा में जा रहा है वगैरह वगैरह, and that definitely happens. But to say that subsidies are a bad idea is a terrible thing in a country like ours. Illuminati says casteism proves that ancient Indians used to live in exclusively tight communities. I have come to this point taken from Sapiens by Harari. This would have started the caste system. Yeah, I think that might very well be the case. One group became more influential and started dictating terms to others. Out of context, thank you for the 1000 rupee super chat. I'm sorry I can't show this on screen because StreamYard is malfunctioning. Like the live stream is on, but the live chat I cannot see anymore. I don't know what is happening to StreamYard today. I shall write to them about this. A very stiff letter on cardboard. Nairanjit says, Evanti, Nityanand's supposed country is called Kailasa. India Today says his island is off the coast of Ecuador near Trinidad and Tobago. These guys obviously did not look at the map. Guys, please don't dox him. Somebody might go to Kailasha and, ask him difficult questions. Alpesh says US agriculture survives due to subsidies only. It is how you use subsidies. Math bolo bhai, I am in 28 day strict. Oh, mat bolo bhai, I'm on 28 day strict diet. Okay. Gunduchi says, I have been a member for 9 months. I expect a baby, Vimo. I expect to be a grandfather. And you're lucky I'm not telling people why. Many people are rally but don't pay me. Many people are at the rally but don't pay me. What? I don't know. Aesop says just stream for 15 minutes every day instead. Aesop ऐसा नहीं चलेगा ना. 15 minutes शुरू करूँगा, but then it'll become like what? It'll become half an hour, then it'll become 45 minutes. I've tried this, by the way. Not 15 minutes. I don't think 15 minutes is anything at all, because किसी टॉपिक के कोर तक पहुंचने में भी टाइम लगता है. But yeah, I mean, wait, let me try something. Let me go into the admin bar of YouTube where the live stream is happening and see if that interface works better, just to look at the chat and stuff. It's the same thing. How do I? Okay, cool. अरे ये क्या किया मैंने? YouTube बंद कर दिया. Hold on. Arey, Meghnad has just published a video about beer biceps. I shall watch it after the live stream ends while eating, I think. Jesu says, I don't eat dinner to support exports. Okay. I don't know what that means. I think I'm tired. I think I should end the live stream now. So I'll just remind everyone that if you want to support the live stream, what you can do is that you can click on the join button below and become a member of the channel. And you can go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and make a one-time contribution. Or you can join the Patreon page for this channel at patreon.com/vimoh and become a member that way. Or you can follow me on Instagram and watch reels and not pay anything. That also is possible. You're all supporting me anyway. If you're listening to this as audio at a later point of time on Spotify, thank you for doing so. I hope you will come to YouTube and watch it, because this is how I make money from it. Spotify is not monetized, and I don't know how to monetize it. I think Spotify may bring monetization features sometime in the future. So yeah. Sunil Singh says, would you like to take one last call? Sunil, it's too late. You can come back next Saturday and we can talk. Yeah, that's it. So without much further ado, I shall end today's live stream. And thank you all for being here. I will see you on Wednesday, when I'll not be taking calls, but I'll still be live and reading comments. So until then, please take care of yourselves. Good night.